everyone! Welcome to my kitchen. So, I posted a post on Facebook a couple weeks ago. Side note, if anyone knows me, they know I'm baking most of the time. Cookies, cakes, muffins, brownies, pie, cheesecake. I'm always baking stuff. And so I posed the question on social media, as one does in this day and age, would anybody be interested in seeing some of the things that I bake? Everybody was like, yes, please. And I thought, why not? I'm gonna be baking anyway. You may as well see how I do it. And you might actually learn some delicious recipes from these videos. Either way, I'm going to be baking things and eating them. But now you're in my kitchen with me. So I thought, what better way to start this off than with a recipe I know everyone and their mother will love. Chocolate chip cookies. Everybody loves chocolate chip cookies. Everybody. Except my best friend Sarah. She doesn't like chocolate, but I'm praying for her and I hope one day she gets right with the Lord. For the rest of the same community who will rather enjoy this recipe, today we're going to be making chocolate chip cookies. This is a recipe that comes from 1942, which means it's gonna be good. That was back when they knew how to make things that were very delicious. This recipe does not disappoint. I discovered this recipe one time and I will never make any other type of chocolate chip cookie because these are simply the best. And they're super easy, which is a really big selling point for people who don't have a buttload of time to make cookies. So without further ado, let's bake some cookies. We're going to start off with half a cup of butter. Half a cup of butter is 1 stick. So don't feel like measuring it out into a measuring cup only to scrape it out into the bowl. Just thaw a stick of butter because it has to be room temperature. Add that butter to the bowl. And you know, I know it's butter. And you're thinking, this is not healthy. Nobody makes cookies to be healthy. These are not good for you. This is not a health food. This is a comfort food. And it's okay to eat one every now and then. So half a cup or 1 stick of unsalted butter. Very important that it is unsalted, otherwise you're gonna have like savory cookies and ain't nobody got time for that. Next, we're going to add half a cup of granulated sugar. I use cane sugar, organic cane sugar. Maybe that makes me a snob, I don't know. It's my preferred sugar. Is that nerdy to have a preferred sugar? Maybe, but I like it. Next, you're going to add a 4th cup of brown sugar. For this particular recipe, I use light brown sugar. If you like them to taste really rich, you can use dark brown sugar. Whatever your heart desires. Fun fact, if you have brown sugar in your cabinet and you pull it out of the bag and it's like a brick, don't worry, it's not bad. All you have to do is put it in the microwave with a wet paper towel over it and microwave it for 30-second intervals until it is, well, till it's not a brick no more. So don't pull it out and see that it's a solid block and go, this is bad, I need to get rid of it. Still good sugar. Just microwave it with a wet paper towel. Good as new. Next, you're going to add 1 well-beaten egg to your bowl. And I really mean well-beaten. Beat the tar out of it. Give it a good talking to. Stamp on its hopes and dreams. Tell it it's adopted. Beat the snot out of it. Side note, I cannot beat an egg in anything but a mug. I don't know why. I have bowls, I have cups. For some reason, to me, it is a travesty to beat an egg in anything but a coffee mug. But it's my kitchen and I can do what I want. I have a plethora of coffee mugs. It looks pretty dejected. Well beaten. Mission accomplished. Add that to the bowl. You're now going to cream this mixture until it is very smooth. We don't want no chunky butter. Perfectamente. Next, we're going to do our dry ingredients. Always do wet ingredients first, then add your dry ingredients. Baking 101. Next, we're going to have 1 cup of all-purpose flour plus 2 tablespoons. The plus 2 tablespoons is very important. And you're thinking, I don't want to measure out extra flour. I'm just going to get a cup. Wrong! Because baking is science. It's basically chemistry, and you cannot mess with the ingredients or proportions on chemistry, or you will have a disaster. Not like Chernobyl level, but it won't be a good cookie. Also important, sift. Sift ingredients. With your dry ingredients, especially with the flour, sift it. Don't just pour it in. You may not think that that would make a massive difference, but I promise you it does. So 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, sifted. Shaken, not stirred. Sift that baby. You also want both a 1/4 spoon of baking soda and a 1/4 spoon of salt. Also sift it. Once you have sifted all your dry ingredients, add that to your previously creamed wet mixture. I prefer to turn this on low and gradually add it so it's not clumpy. But if you're impatient, just shove it all in there as long as it's on low. Otherwise, you're going to get snowed with all this flour. Just take your time. It's just cookies. They ain't going nowhere. If your mixture is starting to look a little dry and a little crumbly, that's perfectly okay. All you have to do to fix this is add hot water, 1/4 teaspoon increments at a time. Because once you add it, you cannot take it away, and you don't want slop. So right now, my mixture's looking a little bit like wet sand. So I'm gonna add a 1/4 teaspoon of water. There we go. See what that looks like. I am not satisfied. I'm gonna add another. Now we cook them with peanut oil. I'm not really cooking with peanut oil. Don't add peanut oil to your cookies. Now we add 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. I'm gonna be honest with you though. I really like vanilla. So nobody judge me out there. But I put a little bit more in than it says. I'm talking like almost 2 teaspoons. Because vanilla's delicious. Most underrated flavor ever. And by the way, for baking snobs out there, I use imitation vanilla. Ain't nobody got $9 to spend on a bottle of brown liquid for your cookies. And imitation vanilla works just fine. And it's much cheaper. Once you do that, scrape the sides of your bowl. Because sometimes in these mixers, a lot of stuff will get stuck around the sides and stuck right there in the middle. And we don't want to waste none of the good stuff. Otherwise, what are we doing this for? All right, I'm happy with that, boys. Now we add the ingredient, chocolate chips. I like to use these little tiny ones. I was gonna give you a reason, but I don't really have one. I just like them. They're cute. So you're gonna want 6 to 8 ounces of chocolate chips. Go a little heavy-handed with it. They're chocolate. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. We'll scan turn this on. Stir them bad babies on low. Oh, fun fact I just learned about the chocolate chip cookie. One of these staples in the dessert world, invented totally by accident. I mean, they're so delicious you'd think someone set out intentionally to make these, but you would be wrong. In the early 1930s, Miss Ruth Wakefield was in their kitchen making cookies and she was running out of ingredients, so she had a chocolate bar laying around. Well, she broke it up in pieces and put it in her brown sugar cookie dough, expecting it to melt and just to make a chocolate cookie. Nay, it didn't melt, but rather dispersed throughout the cookie batter. So when she pulled them out of the oven, they were chocolate chunks of goodness, and she's like, I've just come up with something ingenious. And the rest is delicious, high-calorie history. All right, I think I'm done. I just realized I did all this, and I never told you what to preheat your oven to. 375, which I obviously did because that's what you do. That's why it's called preheating. You do it before. Unless you don't know to do it before because the person didn't tell you to do that. Then you do it now. So if you have the foreknowledge to preheat your oven and it's ready to go, now we start to put the cookie dough on the cooking sheet. If, however, because you're watching this video and didn't know it was supposed to be 375, refrigerate the cookie dough while it preheats. It is very important that the butter stays solid. It does not need to be runny, otherwise you will get very flat cookies. But because this isn't my first rodeo with the cookie, I already knew this. If you have a non-stick cookie sheet, I highly recommend you use it because I hate lining cookie sheets. I don't know why. It feels wrong somehow. But if you're one of those people that like butters it and lines it because you're scared they're gonna get stuck, you do you. Look at that. Look at that goodness. I just love chocolate chip cookies. I have a copper non-stick pan here. I always use this pan. This is my pan. It's the go-to pan. This part's kind of like the art form part of it. You can make them as big or as small as you want. Just make sure you leave about a ½ inch of room in between them because they will grow. I prefer to make mine about the size of a ping pong ball. But you don't have to get technical. So now you just line them on your cookie sheet. Okay, I lied. Put them about an inch apart. Better safe than sorry. You don't want a massive sheet of cookie. Albeit, would that really be that bad? Now you just line them up. Or drop chocolate chips everywhere. While you're making these, and if you live with someone else, check in the refrigerator if you have milk. If you don't, have them run to the store very quickly and grab some. Because it's simply un-American to eat a chocolate chip cookie without a glass of milk. That's on our citizenship test. When was the country founded? How many branches of government do we have? Do you drink milk with your chocolate chip cookies? If you answer no, you're kicked out. The beauty of being in your own kitchen doing your own thing is that you can eat the cookie dough. Because I'm gonna be honest, I think that's better than the cookie. My cat's down here, she wants some too. Don't you? She licking her lips? Acting like I give her cookies? I don't give her cookies. These are not for you. Stop licking your lips. Every time I do this, by the time I get them all on the sheet, I usually have a little bit of cookie dough left. That could possibly be intentional. You could either prep another cookie sheet and bake the remainder of the dough, or you can do what I do and freeze it, and then eat it later. Don't be judging me. You do that one time, I promise you, you'll do it again. All right, y'all. Look at them. You did that. Well, I mean, I did this, but you did yours. Now you stick them in your preheated 375-degree oven for 10 to 12 minutes. As a general rule with baking, if you're given 2 times in baking, go with the smaller number and check it then. If it needs more time, keep it in. But if you overbake, you can't fix it. If you underbake, you can leave it in there a few minutes longer. So I set my timer for 10 minutes. Now I'm gonna put this in a container in my freezer because it's delicious. Bless the Ziploc bag. There ain't nothing you can't put in a Ziploc bag. It's not a 100% accurate statement, but you can put most kitchen things in a chicken bag. Put it in a chicken bag. Ziploc bag. If you have a chicken bag, please send me pictures because I want to know what that is. In my freezer for later. Now is the most horrendous part of baking, the wait. But it's worth it when you're done. And you get to lick the bowl. Lord bless cookies. I like to utilize this time of baking, I've only got 9 minutes left, in cleanup. Because I hate wrecking my kitchen. It's worth it in the end, but it's kind of a disaster though. So I'll be back when that's done, and we can see what they look like when I pull them out of the oven. They're going to be magnificent, I promise. It's been 10 minutes, do you hear that? That is the sound of victory, ladies and gentlemen. Sweet, buttery, chocolate-infused victory. We did that. Let's check them. Shut that up. Oh yes, my friends. Look at this. Bless, I think manna was just chocolate chip cookies. I wish you could smell it. Smells like diabetes. No, really, it smells delicious. I mean, and probably like diabetes. But hey, YOLO! Turn your oven off. Take 6 or 7 minutes to just stare at these bad boys because they're gorgeous. This is the hardest part. Now we wait. I highly recommend that you do actually let these sit for 6 or 7 minutes after you pull them out of the oven. It's a very long and torturous 6 or 7 minutes, but if you try to pull them off of the cookie sheet before then, they will just fall apart. They'll still taste as good, but they won't look as good. So let them sit for a minute. Let them rest. They've earned it. Look at them. They've earned it. So it's been 7 minutes, and I tell you what, y'all, I earned it too. As I said before, good old-fashioned American cup of milk, chocolate chip cookie. Look at this. It's like ebony and ivory. Okay, here goes. Oh. 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 Y'all, I'll tell you what. It's still warm. That chocolate falls apart. I tell you, once you try this recipe, you ain't buying none of that stuff you get at the store. You'll be making this. That's a good cookie. Lord, we thank you for these chocolate chip cookies. Bless this divine dessert. Can I get an amen? So that's it, guys. We've just made some amazing chocolate chip cookies. Well, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. Hope you made some good cookies. And if you didn't, try again. Baking is a science. It takes a few tries sometimes. But once you find that recipe, it's worth it. Thanks for joining me in my kitchen, y'all. I don't know what I'm gonna make next time, or if there's even gonna be a next time. Maybe nobody watched this video. Maybe I've just wasted all this time doing nothing. Well, it wasn't wasted. I still have cookies to show for it. But we'll see. Thanks. Until next time, when you're awkwardly and creepily staring at me in my kitchen, I'll see you later. Bake some good things, y'all. Bye-bye.